All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Golden State Warriors Lauri Markkanen trade rumors. There's growing skepticism that Lauri Markkanen could actually not get dealt amidst the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, Sacramento Kings, a couple other teams being interested in potentially trading for Lauri Markkanen. But yesterday we saw this report that the Jazz just don't really appear to be committed to trading Lauri. And we've talked about this time and time again. Dealing in any type of endeavor, I'm sure, with Danny Ainge is, I'm sure, just a headache and a nightmare, and you just want to avoid stuff like that. But Lauri Markkanen remaining with Utah, in my opinion, actually makes zero sense, even if they plan on extending him or re-signing him after this season. So Lauri's set to enter the final year of his contract, and he could hit unrestricted free agency 1 year from today. I don't know why they don't want to maximize his value here. Even if Danny Ainge has confidence in keeping Lauri long term, I just don't know why you would not do a deal like this if a substantial offer is actually on the table. So welcome back to Warriors Daily. Obviously, we're talking about the Golden State Warriors in tonight's video, Lauri Markkanen related. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily dubs content. If try and get this video to 200 likes, it would mean the world to me. I think we're like a couple subscribers away from 4,000 subs, so thank you guys so much. This past weekend, DeMar DeRozan was traded to Sacramento, and I'm really glad because Sacramento was rumored to be interested in Lauri Markkanen. So Anthony Slater of The Athletic reported that the Sacramento Kings heavily pursued Lauri Markkanen prior to signing DeMar DeRozan, but the Jazz failed to meet the Kings' imposed deadline, and that sources around the league have grown skeptical that Utah will even move Markkanen. So the Kings apparently went really hard after Lauri Markkanen earlier this past week. They were not putting Keegan Murray in the discussions, though, but they do believe they had a substantial enough picks-based offer that their team sources said. This is all coming from Anthony Slater at The Athletic. But they put a deadline to their side of the deal, needing an answer quickly considering the urgency of the market, with like DeMar DeRozan being the top dude in free agency. Utah didn't meet it. So now you have this kind of growing skepticism league-wide that the Jazz with Danny Ainge, might not move Lauri Markkanen. So the Kings immediately pivoted to DeMar DeRozan. And yeah, I'm really curious. It's funny because I hate when GMs do this in sport leagues. But it's funny and it's reflective because I would do the same thing. I'd be very petty trading away my best player. Utah just won 31 games this past season. Lauri Markkanen is by far their best player. To be honest with you, their roster isn't terrible as far as 5 years down the line. There's just a lot of question marks. Cody Williams, you've got guys like your veterans, Jordan Clarkson, whatever, Colin Sexton, whatever. But you've got Walker Kessler, you've got Keontae George, you got Filipowski, Taylor Hendricks last year's draft pick, you got John Collins. There's some intrigue in Utah, but there's still no clear superstar. And I don't even know if the superstar's on their roster right now. So if you just won 31 basketball games and Lauri Markkanen's entering the last year of his contract, I'd trade him. Lauri Markkanen last season, 23.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2 assists in 55 games for the Utah Jazz. This past season, this was his second season of averaging more than 20 points. He's 27 years old. He's just so underrated. And we know that Lauri on the Golden State Warriors would just take this team to the next level. I really like their roster, and part of guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, B-Pod, TJD, there's really good, intriguing young players. Just kind of comes down to Steve Kerr. Are you ever going to play Moses Moody? Are you ever going to give these young cats consistent opportunities? But now with the Klay Thompson departure, it makes a lot more interest. But they picked up Anthony Melton, Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson. The Warriors are a good team. I actually think they improved getting rid of Klay Thompson and Chris Paul. I know Warriors fans don't want to hear this, but Chris Paul didn't move the needle at all last year. And, honestly, Klay Thompson didn't do well. And by the trade deadline, actually, a lot of Warriors fans did not want him back for this upcoming season. So I like the adjustments that they made losing those two cats. But as far as championship aspirations, I don't think they're there. Andrew Wiggins, I expect and anticipate to have a bounce back season. Jonathan Kuminga looks like one of the more intriguing young rising stars in the NBA. But Steph Curry's not getting any younger, so you want to make a move like this. And, it's just weird because I don't know why Lauri Markkanen would remain with the Utah Jazz. I get like continuity, but once again, Utah missed the postseason for 2 straight years now. There's no clear superstar on that roster. And, as good as Lauri is, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, he's not a superstar. So, if I'm giving you a package with Moses Moody in it, maybe even Andrew Wiggins and a first-round pick, I don't know why on earth you wouldn't take that deal. I don't know what the actual offer Golden State was for it, but I will just say this. If Lauri Markkanen doesn't ultimately end up a Golden State Warrior, I don't think this team will win a championship. You need a dude to take that leap. I don't know. Dre's still Dre. Steph's still Steph. Yeah, they're getting older. And you need guys to help ease their workloads. And that's why you see, B-Pod, Jonathan Kuminga, these young cats, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, just help keep this team afloat. But as far as just like luster goes, I mean, they need a little bit more. And I will say this, if Lauri Markkanen, you want to make the trades in the offseason, right? Like, let's say Lauri Markkanen becomes available at the trade deadline. Well, that's cool. And maybe, Utah's even more desperate because he's on an expiring contract. And that means, if you want to retain Lauri, you might have to pay him a bunch of money, or it just might be a half-season rental. My only issue with that is I don't really like mid-season trades, because mid-season trades are usually a little bit too late, and it's usually prepping for next season. So, at the end of the day, if Golden State trades for Lauri at the trade deadline and then they re-sign Lauri for the next couple of years, like, yeah, that works, but I still would view this season as a wash as far as NBA championship aspirations go. So my concern is Lauri Markkanen doesn't get shipped from Utah at any point. Maybe Danny Ainge decides to re-sign him, or they decide to just straight up let him walk next summer. Well, now what? Like Paul George was about to be a Warrior, and Clippers kiboshed that. DeMar DeRozan, not that I wanted him even in Golden State, but, he just got picked up by the Kings. Like, the Golden State's kind of running out of time here. A lot of teams are running out of time. Look at, like, the Lakers. So as far as other options go, it's very slim. It's very limited. A lot of it's just speculation. Like, Trae Young, obviously that doesn't correlate to Golden State. Brandon Ingram, like, there's just a bunch of guys who could be traded, and any of their fits on Golden State, I just don't like. So it's Lauri or bust to me, unless you guys have somebody else in mind. Let me know down below. But that's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Give me a confidence rating scale, 10 being very confident, 1 being not confident at all, of Lauri Markkanen ending with the Golden State Warriors. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.